Hi, this is Christine with Zeidman Development. Today I'd like to walk you through the process of importing education relationships into the Razor's Edge using Importacular. I already have a template set up, so let's go ahead and take a look. You can see I've already mapped a constituent of a student. Just like with every other template, the first thing you have to do is create a constituent for any of the other fields to go onto. Here, I've chosen to map a constituent for a current student, and that's relevant for some of the settings that I've chosen in education. I'm not going to go into the details of how to map a constituent because this video is focused primarily on the education relationship, but we do have other videos that cover that topic. You can see here on the Education tab that I have set up 3 different areas within our education relationship mapping. I've started with the app mapping of school, which is an education mapping. This has to be set up before any subsequent mappings can take place. I've also created an education attribute and an education major. I have not mapped an education minor because that's so similar to an education major, but that is an option as well. Let's begin with our mapping for school, which is an education area mapping. You can see here that I have set this education relationship to become the primary alumni. I've also given this the instructions to only update new education records and not to change existing education records. I have also added the class year using the graduation year in my source field. I've added a date entered. And I've also mapped the school name. You can tell by the green circle with the white check mark in it, the school name is the only required field for this relationship to be imported. And I've given this a status of current student. You can see in my area field settings what I have chosen to do as far as matching education relationships. You can set this to only add an education relationship when there is no existing match. However, if I'm going to do that, I probably am going to want to change this to be class year and establishment or school so that I can match exactly what school year or what school relationship we're working with. So if someone has graduated from the same institution more than once, they could still have 2 separate education relationships, possibly representing an undergraduate degree and a graduate degree equally on the Education Relationship tab. Next, I've mapped an education attribute. For this example, I've set this up to show the dorms or housings category, and I've selected the description of College Lodge. So if everyone in my data source lived in the same dormitory, this attribute would be accurate and I can import it into Razor's Edge. Again, I've chosen to set my settings so that I'm not adding attributes when there is an existing match, and I have set my match settings so that I can match what I call a match instead of a system-generated match. Next, I've set up a mapping for a major. You can see here that I've chosen the major to match to the field in my source document of area of study. Finally, if I wanted to add a minor to this mapping, I could do so. I would give it a name, and I would choose either a source field or a default value. So depending on what my file contained, I might know that everyone in here had a minor in drama, or I might need to choose something from the source field. Those are the options that are available under the education relationships. I hope that this has been a helpful video. Thank you.